All right, good whenever you guys are.
Good evening. We'd like to call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now have solicitor announcements.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this session of the Upper Darby Zoning Hearing Board. The board did meet in an executive session prior to this evening's hearings to discuss questions of law related to ongoing litigation and this evening's applications. Some meeting procedures for this evening. We have a long agenda. We have 9 applications on the agenda for tonight. We're going to try to move through as briskly as possible to get to everybody. So please, we ask for your cooperation in that. If you're participating in some way tonight, we ask you to keep it concise. We ask you to not repeat others, and we hope everybody will help us stay focused and get to all the applications on our docket. However, we are setting a semi-hard stop at 10:30 this evening. So what that means is that whatever application we're working on when 10:30 hits, we will finish that application, but we will not be starting any new applications after that. In the event that we do have that situation, any applications that we do not get to will be continued to our December session, which is December 17th, which is a week earlier than normal, but December 17th in this room at 7 p.m. For those of who are planning on participating this evening, there are 2 ways to participate. At the end of every hearing, we will take what's called public comment. Public comment is your opportunity to give statements in support or in opposition to the relief being requested. So we'll ask you to come up, we'll swear you in, and then you'll have the floor to give the zoning hearing board your thoughts on that particular application. If you believe you are particularly affected, have some special interest, typically by being located in living in close proximity or owning property in close proximity to the property in question, you can request what's called party status. Party status will allow you to participate fully in the proceedings. You will be able to ask questions of the applicant's witnesses, present evidence and testimony of your own. You'll be entitled to receive a copy of the board's written decision, and if you disagree with the board's decision, take an appeal to the Delaware County Court of Common Pleas. We will ask you questions to determine party status to see if you're eligible for that, and if so, I will guide you through how that works if you are not represented. If you believe that you plan on requesting party status, that means participate fully as opposed to just giving public comment. There are party status request forms on the front table. Please grab one and fill it out now. That will help us move this along. I need your name and your contact information, particularly your email. So if you plan on participating as a party in someone else's application, please fill out that party status request form and have it ready for when we begin that particular hearing. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, we'll begin with application 10-1 of 24, 27 South 3rd Street LLC, 27 South 3rd Street in Upper Darby. Parcel ID number 160-202-09600. It's in the C4 Commercial District, requesting a special exception pursuant to Section 558, Table 3-1, to permit the housing and slaughtering of live poultry, goats, and crows. I'm sorry, and cows. Also, special exception to section 550-33A, table 8-1, to permit 9 parking spaces where 27 is required.
So we'll note on the record that this is a continued application from the October 22nd hearing. Testimony was taken at the October 22nd hearing, and the public was given an opportunity to comment at that point. At that time, we had one person request and was granted party status, Mr. Jonathan Cartman. We continued the application because during the proceedings, it was determined that the applicant may need to request parking relief, and the application was amended for that purpose to reflect what the chairman announced in the notice, that the request is to permit use of 9 parking spaces where 27 parking spaces are otherwise required. In the interim, we'll note that additional exhibits will be marked. ZHB 4 will be marked as the proof of publication for this hearing of November 26th, and ZHB 5 will be noted. This was reposted, correct? Notice photos for the November 26th hearing. I see a counselor standing at the bar, and so I'll inquire as to.
Thank you. Good evening, board. My name is Fred Fromhold. I'm an attorney. I'm representing Jonathan Cartman. Mr. Cartman had been granted party status at your initial hearing, and I am representing him in this continued hearing this evening. I contacted the zoning officer last week, and I had spoken as well with Mr. McCreesh, advising that he would be representing Cartman.
All right, very well, Mr. Fromhold. If you have a card before you leave, just let.
I will give it, I've given it already to.
Okay.
Is there an appropriate place for me to sit if I'm asking questions?
You're welcome to take the end of the dais over here, and we'll have the any witness stand at the podium. So at this point, Mr. McCreesh, because you had not rested yet, we'll let you continue in your case, picking up where we left off.
Okay. I think we already testified to all the, everything except for the parking. And I noticed we said there was gonna be 9 spaces. They actually reconfigured, and they have 12 spaces, and he has a sketch of parking with the 12 spaces.
So I don't know. Did you have exhibits last time? I don't have them with me. We'll note on the record this will be marked as the next sequential exhibit when the decision is rendered.
Since it was, again, since I know we were pressed for time, and my client already testified to the operation and all the, the ventilation and the disposal of the waste products. We went through all that last meeting. So I don't think we have to I don't have anything further.
Did you want to talk about the parking with any testimony?
I think we redid the market area, and then
Can
we.
you state your name?
Oh, Cameron.
And last name?
Or SAR, WAR.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, do you understood that? And do you understand that you remain sworn under the oath you took the last time? Okay. So if you can go ahead, talk about.
So we redid the market area, and according to that, based off of that, we added the additional parking that were needed. So, and I think we shared that print with you.
Right. So, Mr. Creech, I'm not gonna step in. It's your presentation, but I guess you're required under our code or under the zoning officer's determination to have 27 parking spaces for the combination use of the retail market and the slaughterhouse complex. You're proposing now 12. I think the board would like to hear why 12 is sufficient.
Well, they reduced the area How many square feet?
square foot.
Turn around. Come to me first. See how they enter. Where do you turn around?
We were told that we needed 13 parking spots.
Who told you that you needed 13 parking spaces?
I think that's what it was originally discussed at last meeting, was 13, but then when Josh, re-looked at it, he said it was 1 per 150. He did tell me that.
Let me also clarify, redid the calculations when I got the actual numbers, right? Last time at the meeting, we were guessing based off of square footages, so.
All right. One thing, can everybody in the audience this is a weird room, how sound travels. So we're just going to ask you to stay quiet because we're very far and the microphones are not great. So I am going to note on the record, in defense of the zoning officer, I believe we were estimating the size of these rooms because the dimensions were not complete. So whatever spitballing was done in the last application, the purpose of the continued hearing was to allow you to look at the application, determine how many parking spaces you could provide versus how many would be required. That is determined to be 27. You're still providing 12. I mean, you're not going to tell me or tell the board that that there's a way you can provide 26, right? I mean,
No,
it's still 12, whether it's 13 or 27 required, 12 is what you can provide, right? Okay, so I think we just need testimony on the record about why 12 is sufficient.
It's not a very busy operation. We're gonna have clients, pouring in and, I think we have sufficient, these guys are, whoever's coming in, they're gonna be, in and out. So, for what we're looking at and what we're offering, it looks like this should be sufficient. And that's why, based off of last time we shrunk the market area a little bit. And from, we understood that, 12, 13 would have been enough. Then we were able to squeeze 12 without, squeezing too much.
Do you anticipate that you would have more than 12 people at 12 cars at any one time?
We don't anticipate that.
And how many employees do you have?
We went over last time, we would at least have 6, and that means that, there were a couple of caretakers, cleaners, and then obviously the us.
I'm sorry, can you clarify that? You just said you have 6 employees plus caretakers and cleaners plus processing people?
No, the 6 would be the total.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've no further.
Then we'll turn it over to Mr. Fromhold if he has any questions on this testimony on behalf of Mr. Cartman.
Yeah, thank you. Just a couple of housekeeping things. This is my entry of appearance, and I also have the business card. I had a question about the application, and perhaps Mr. Preach can answer this. The property is owned by one LLC, and you have a new LLC that you are forming the applicant and the user of the property. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. And the application was signed by a MD Sanuzwa, is that who?
Yes, partner.
And who is he?
A partner of mine.
Okay, so the two of you are members of the LLC that would be the operator of this facility, say?
Yes.
In terms of the people that you have engaged in connection with this application, in connection with the preparation of plans and the preparation for your testimony, have you engaged any civil engineers?
Depending on the zoning, we will.
Okay, but you haven't to date.
No, we haven't started.
Have you engaged any architects?
Not yet.
And have you engaged any traffic consultants or parking consultants?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. If you're in the audience, you're not participating at this point. Thank you.
Yeah, we engaged an architect, yes.
And who is the architect?
I can get that name for you, I don't have it.
Okay, and what did the architect do?
I can get all that information for you, I'm just not prepared for that at the moment, but I know that for right now, at the moment, based off of the zoning, we're gonna start to build up, which we haven't yet started to build up.
Now, the code requires, and citing section 550-54E2F, that where applicable, there shall be attached a plot plan of the real estate to be affected, indicating the location and size of the lot and the size of the improvements now erected and proposed to be erected. Is this this new exhibit, replacing the exhibit that you had introduced at the last hearing?
Yes.
Or is it just supplementing that exhibit?
So it's the same, exhibit, but additional part is the market size and the parking, additional parking.
And how has the market changed in size?
I believe it was bigger than 500 square foot before.
Okay, I'm looking here, and there are no indication of the floor areas of any of the rooms or, excuse me, spaces on this latest exhibit, and that has been marked, the latest exhibit.
It has been marked as an exhibit, yes. I unfortunately do not know which number it is off the top of my head, but we will supplement that in the record.
So I'm going to call it tonight's plan.
Sure.
So this plan does not exist, or does not indicate any of the square footages within the building. It does have certain dimensions that are shown
No.
on it, is that right? Right. And who prepared this plan, tonight's plan?
Okay. I'll get that information.
You don't know the architect's name,
I don't know the architect.
and the architect's name is not on the plan,
Yes,
whereas the date it was prepared on the plan.
right.
Do you know the size of the parking spaces that are indicated on that plan with automobiles shown within those spaces?
Yeah, the individual spots, how big are the spots?
How big the individuals, I don't know. Can I consult with one of my partners? Yeah.
No, but Mr. McCreesh can call someone else if he, another
Yeah.
witness if he like.
Yeah.
And Mr. Fromhold, it's A3. I just looked it up if you want to mark. It's A3. Yes.
Is there any indication that I assume the answer is, thank you. I assume the answer is you don't know what the size of those spaces are, is that correct?
Right.
Okay. Do you know what the size of the automobiles shown in those spaces, what the dimensions of those cars are?
They look like sedan to me, so, sedan or SUV, they're just,
Fair to say you don't know.
Okay. Do you know what the length of that lot is? There's no dimension shown on the length of the lot from back to front or front to back.
Hundred and 23 feet long in length, and then 82 is the width for the lot.
Okay. And what is the dimension of the building? Do you know that?
The existing building or the proposed plan?
Well, A3, the plan that you presented this evening.
Next to that. So it's 42 by 92?
Okay. So let me ask you, where did you get the length of the lot being 123 feet? How do you know that?
Yeah, I can get all that information for you. I can, get all from the architect and give you that.
So we don't know what the size of those spaces are. All of those spaces require an automobile to back out all the way from the very end of the lot through that driveway back out to Third Street, South Third Street. Is that correct?
Right.
And if there would be a delivery in progress,
Right.
either animal delivery or some other delivery of a product or some service being performed, trash pickup or pickup of animal parts, whatever it might be, that would block those cars getting access to those spaces or leaving the lot, would it not?
I don't think so because that'll happen in the morning or in the evening, so off hours.
Okay, so you're saying there will be no truck deliveries during what hours?
Doesn't happen during the daytime.
Okay, let me back up. I know that you testified last time, because I did look at the video of the hearing, that it would be off hours. It would be early in the morning that you would have animal deliveries or later in the evening. What do you consider earlier in the morning? What hours?
There can be as late as, depending on when the sale gets done, they can be there, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, or as late as 9, 10 o'clock in the evening.
Right. Do you have control over when the animals are delivered to the site?
It can be, yeah, we can control that, yeah.
But can you guarantee, would you accept as a condition that there would be no animal deliveries during the hours of operation of the slaughterhouse?
That's normally the case, just because livestock trailers and trucks, they don't drive during the daytime that's when the sales are happening. So deliveries happen after the sales are done during the daytime.
All right, so you would not have any deliveries in the morning after 7 a.m.?
No, that doesn't happen.
So that it'll all be before 7 a.m.?
Before,
And how about at the tail end of the day, in the evening? What is the earliest evening delivery that you might have?
depending, let's say if there was a short sale, I don't still see it being, the livestock being delivered up until before 8 o'clock. It should normally happen later in the night, like 9, 10 o'clock.
Okay, so you would not have any deliveries during the hours that the slaughterhouse is in operation and is staffed? Or the retail market is in operation or staffed? How about product deliveries? Do you have any product deliveries that would occur during the day? Do you have any
aren't any
Amazon
products.
deliveries or FedEx deliveries,
I mean, we don't have any products other than like.
food, hay, anything of that nature?
That normally comes with the animals. The hay comes with the animals.
All right. How about when they pick up the products? I think that you will have blood product and you'll have animal part products that will be in what, sealed containers?
Right.
And those containers would be maintained inside until they are picked up?
Yep.
And how would a company pick up those containers at the property? Would they park in the street?
Yeah, they will be picking it up from the street. Yeah.
Okay, so, and where would the container come out of the building and how would it get to the street?
They will come out from the side. We have 2 doors on the side.
How much do those containers weigh?
Those containers can be, they're no bigger than this. So let's say 2.5 long by less than 2 feet.
And they would have animal parts in them?
Yes, they will have parts and, coagulated blood.
All right, and 100 pounds in the container?
Depending on, how much you put in.
Could
the
be
container.
more?
Whatever it can fit, yeah. So
But it
let's
could-
say-
Right.
let's say 70 to, 100 pound maybe.
And where would those containers come out of the building and,
From the side door.
okay, and they would be what, rolled down to the street or?
No, the truck can back up to it.
So the truck would back up in the driveway to one of the garage doors?
Right.
Okay, and pick up the container. And would any of those pickups occur during business hours?
I can check with Darling.
So fair to say you don't know?
I don't know the timing. I would have to give them a call. Yeah, but that's what their job is and that's what they do. I don't see them, just like trash doesn't get picked up, during business hours. I'm sure they'll be coming, off hours. Yeah.
And where would your retail customers park?
They will park where the parking are listed on the side. Yeah. And that's pretty big. Actually, it's bigger than Cartman's parking lot, which is a straight alley.
Okay. What is the width from left to right between the side property line and the closest point that you could get to the building as you back a car out of any of those spaces?
Oh, this one. It's about 30.5,
30 feet?
30 feet, yeah.
Okay.
From the building to the fence, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any professional opinion that you can get angled parking in against that side lot and get access to that with a limit of 30 feet for the parking space and the driveway access to it? Do you have an opinion on that?
I think just like we can go into Walmart and park in, tight parking spots, I think we should be fine. I think we have plenty of space.
Okay, and how about the last 3 spaces? How do you get into those spaces?
Oh, you can just turn right and get to that space. Yeah.
Turn right and back in?
Yeah, just turn right and back up to it, yeah.
Okay. Have you asked any professional to look at that plan to see if it's a viable plan and meets any professional standards for angled parking?
I could consult with them, yeah.
But you haven't?
I haven't done that. I guess I can ask the next door neighbors because they have a straight alley for all their cars.
Okay. I think you testified at the last hearing that retail use was an essential element of this application. Does that remain the case?
Retail.
Yeah.
So you could not have this use without that retail component?
Could
In other words,
He's saying,
Can
could
you
you just
repeat?
do the livestock without the
We would need the retail part of it.
now, in looking at the plan here, you show all of the spaces, is that correct?
You're talking about in the
You-
inside?
You've accounted for a use within each one of these spaces. Where is, you've got one bathroom, is that right? It's near the mini market in the front. It says hand wash and toilet.
Yeah,
Is that's the only bathroom, correct?
that's the only for, yep.
So any of the personnel that are working in the slaughterhouse, they need access to sanitation, do they not? They need to change their, they need a designated room within which to change their clothing. That's a USDA requirement, is it not?
We're actually planning to have, it's not part of it, but we're actually planning to have a USDA office, because we understand the officer, the USDA, doctor would need an office for himself.
Right,
They
they
would-
need a designated office.
Right,
And do you know how large that office needs to be and what uses and functions occur within that designated office space?
I'm not sure of the measurements, honestly.
Okay, but you don't show that. So that would have to come out of one of the spaces here, is that
We're
correct?
planning to have that upstairs, to have a office for them upstairs for the
Okay.
officer.
You haven't shown a floor plan for upstairs.
Yeah.
So there's going to be more use upstairs. And how large is the upstairs?
Upstairs is as large of the back of the building, which is a little bit raised.
Okay,
It's upstairs, it does exist in the original plan, you know, how the building is right now.
okay. I'm not seeing a stairway to upstairs. How do you get upstairs?
So the old upstairs, I mean, the stairs to go upstairs right now with the existing building is all the way in the back.
Where? Where the burning room is?
Excuse me 1 minute.
His partner might be able to answer some of these questions better. Can I call?
If he doesn't know, I mean,
Yeah, he
and
knows
Mr.
the problem.
Fromhold can
Yeah.
complete his line of questioning, and if you want to bring up someone else after
Okay,
this
Yeah.
witness is done, that's fine.
okay.
I don't know,
Okay.
Mr. Fromhold, do you feel that you've exhausted your ability to question this witness?
Yeah, well, no, I have more
Wait,
questions of
wait,
this
wait.
witness.
What's that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have no objection to him coming up and explaining.
I don't want,
Right.
I'd like you to finish with one witness before the next witness comes up.
Yes.
That's what I'm asking. So,
That would be my preference.
Okay.
right. Do you have any more questions for this witness?
Well, I do.
You do. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
So you don't know exactly where the stairway is. It's not shown on the plan, but you believe there's a stairway there.
In the original building it is, but not in the new plan, but the building the way it is right now, there's a
So-
stairway in the back.
All right, so if you go out there today, walk into the building, you'll see a stairway,
Right.
just not shown on this plan.
Yes.
Okay, and you're looking to do certain things on the second floor, are you?
No, this having an office and maybe having a room for the USD officer. That's it.
Just that room,
Right.
nothing else?
Nothing else.
Okay. And is there a bathroom on that second floor?
I'm not sure if there's a bathroom at the moment in the building or not upstairs. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Right. But in order to get to the bathroom downstairs, your workers who are doing the slaughtering and so forth, to wash their hands, they need to go through the mini market. Is that correct?
No, it's right there in the middle
Where?
where you see it in the plan.
Yeah, I'm seeing all walls around that. And I'm seeing the only doorway uh, that gives you access is either the front door or the door from the chicken cage zone.
So there's a door from the market into that area, the chicken zone, and then there's a door from the cattle area into the chicken zone. So it's in the middle.
Yeah, but you're either going through, you've got to go through the mini market to get to that bathroom door. There's only one door into that bathroom, and it's through the mini market. Is that right?
No, I see you going to the bathroom through the mini market. Obviously, you need to take a door
Okay.
to go over there,
Right.
and
Well,
then you can come from the other side. So I see it right there being in the middle, yeah.
the plan shows what it shows. Have you had, you haven't had any parking study done, is that right?
I'm gonna have my partner come in, take
Right.
over for these
No,
questions.
no, I'm just asking you, to your knowledge.
He answered that, yes, he didn't know.
Okay, so you come tonight seeking a parking variance,
Right.
and you don't know whether you've done a parking study. Do you know, are you familiar with Table 8.1 of the Township Code as it relates to parking?
What was that paint, what?
The Table 8.1, which establishes the parking requirement. And this parking requirement, I believe, per the zoning officer, is it falls under the all other uses not listed of one space for every 150 square feet of floor area.
Yeah, I'm not aware of the requirement.
Okay, and so you're not aware also that it says in that 150 square feet of floor area, it says a parking demand study may be performed to request reduced parking, subject to approval of the zoning hearing board. So the zoning board is authorized to reduce that parking so that you don't need to provide as many spaces as one per 150 square feet if you do a parking demand study. But to your knowledge, that hasn't been done.
Right.
The cattle slaughtering zone is shown. Are you aware that the USDA regulations require that you have a separate room for the separate cutting room for the?
Yeah.
Okay, and it can't be in that cattle zone open room. It has to be in a separate room. You're
Yes.
aware of that, and you don't show any separate room on that on this plan, correct?
So we have cattle, which is on the other side of the market, and chicken is on this side. So chicken is the only one that needs to be separate, and then cattle and lamb, or, for sake, goat can be together, and these are separate, and this is separated where the live cattles are, and the processing area is on the other side of the room.
Okay. Are you aware that the USDA regulations do not permit the slaughtering zone to be in the same room as where you're cutting the meat?
Yes, we're not gonna have it in the same room. It's on the other side. There's going to be, there's a split in the middle.
Okay. You haven't shown that separate room on this plan yet, though.
So cattle is on this side, and then the processing is on this side. They're not in the same room.
Okay. The cattle shed is where the cattle come and are awaiting going into the slaughtering zone. Is that correct?
Yes, so they are
Okay.
going
So
to,
you're not preparing the meat and cutting the meat in the cattle shed.
no, we're not doing that. It's
Okay.
on the
And
other
you're
side.
not preparing.
I think this line of question is getting beyond the scope of the zoning. I mean, obviously, there's USDA rules and
Involved,
regulations.
and we're gonna follow that.
That he's gonna have to follow. And if he doesn't follow, he's not gonna get the USDA permits.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm not an expert on USDA. I know the zoning board's not an expert on USDA, but obviously, this is whether he gets relief from the parking and whether or not he can get the special exception. The USDA rules is a separate entity, and he'll have to comply with them if this board permits him, but we're really getting.
Yeah, and
I-
I appreciate,
relevant to
I
this.
appreciate that, and I was looking to go more now into the number of employees that you have. And I do understand that ultimately this board isn't granting any approval for the facility, that would be USDA.
So,
But
Mr. Fromhold, I'm just going to address it so it's on the record that, because you objected. I'm going to let Mr. McCreesh objected. I'm going to let Mr. Fromhold go a little further. I think that what for the board, there's relevant information here about operations and staffing, because I'm going to let him give him a little more leeway because we've now heard about a USDA officer that will be on site that was not in the testimony before. So, but I do want to make sure that this is all relevant to both health, safety, and welfare under the special exception or to the impact related to the parking variance. So I would just ask Mr. Fromhold to be cognizant of that as he continues his line of questioning.
okay, so as I understood it, you had the one caretaker for food or water, one person responsible to kind of clean up things, and maybe 3 processors, which would get you to 5. And you're saying you will not have any other personnel there? You would accept a condition of this board that you limit your staff to 5?
Right.
And you would have one other person, would you not? The USDA official.
When you have,
And that person's there full time, correct?
so when you're processing and you're USDA certified, you have to have a USDA officer on site when you're processing.
Okay. How many people, do you have any other administrative people, any person that is kind of in charge of these 5 people that are the workers, the caretaker, the person responsible to clean, the 3 process?
I would be there.
Okay,
Watch
so,
it, yes.
okay, so that would be number 6.
Right.
And the USDA official would be number 7.
Right.
And the retail market, you've got somebody in the retail market, right?
Right.
That's how many? 2?
So I
3?
mean, it could be me or it could be anyone who's available will be dealing with the market.
But you'd have somebody that was employed in the market, that would be still another person.
Right.
And there would be no other people working
No
at
other
this
people, yeah.
location? Okay. How about tagging the meat and packaging the meat? Who does that?
So that would be the processing part of it. Processing folks would do that.
Now, if you're going to have a witness that was going to talk about further about parking, then I'll ask those. Let me just see, Mr. Sawyer, if I had anything else.
Hello.
Oh, will you have a dumpster? I'm sorry. How about regular trash? You know, forget the animal parts for a moment, but just, would you plan to have a dumpster that you would put the trash in?
Yes, so I already called Republic and they will do the regular trash, yes.
Okay, and that would be a private hauler, not the township?
That would be a private hauler, yeah, for
And,
business.
and where would your dumpster be located?
It would be on the side.
When you say on the side, where on on A3?
In the back, right over here where the X's are.
Can you also show the board where you're pointing?
I can't see it from that
So,
distance.
so you're indicating at the top of the back of the building, underneath the tree, beyond the 13th or the 12th parking spot.
Based on the standard code. My contractor does it.
Thank you.
Uh,
My next witness is, could you state your name and?
MD Saidujaman,
Could you spell it for the court recorder?
M like Mary, D like David, last name S.
I really can't hear you.
Okay.
What is it again?
MD
Uh-huh.
Saidujaman.
Okay, Sayduzzaman.
Yes.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Real quick, can I just have your first name one more time?
MD.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Just initials.
Got it.
Correct, just
Like
the
medical
letter M and
doctor.
Letter D.
Yes.
Correct. It goes by Danny, if you want.
Not Doc.
But just briefly, I don't want to rehash all the testimony, but there were some questions that came. You were here and you heard the questions about the parking. Could you go into further detail about the questions he had about the parking?
What is the details you want to hear?
But he wanted the size of the spaces and
This-
and how you and who did the parking layout for you and
And my contractor does it, and size of the parking is standard coding by US law, which is, and also, there's a 12 parking here. Also, we can put 13 parking available because the space we have almost 10 feet. And we have available space to, even though we have a park the car, we can available space to go out and come back from the parking lot. And since this is zoning, we can have architect for proper plan because it's a zoning, and after the zoning approved, definitely to the building permit, we will have a proper architect to submit to the zoning board to according to the construction. And the thing is, and parking based on the mini market, because other place, I don't know you talking about the square feet, the whole square feet, based on the building square feet, you mentioned about the parking lot. But other places of the building, it will be only the animals. It will be not for available for people, only the mini market. The mini market square feet is mentioning on the drawing is 32 feet. And the full 32 feet, it will be not the mini market, also it will be storage or storage here. And the counter, the base, after the counter, it will be based, after the counter, it will be almost only it says 22 feet, 7 feet, 22 feet. So almost it will be half of the mini market will be there. So based on it, the way you see the mini market of the drawing, but it will be a lot of counter here. After the counter, the mini market will be max 300 or 400 square feet on the mini market. So based on the mini market, the parking space is available more than, I think is more than enough for the mini market space. And other spaces is basically all the animals will be there. So it's not required, as assuming, or it's not required for the parking for those other spaces.
Did you have any other questions?
No, I have not.
Okay. A few questions. Mr., is it said
You
as
can call me Danny.
Danny? Okay, thank you. You spell your last name Sayduzzaman?
Yes,
Okay, and what is your occupation?
I am a business owner.
I'm sorry?
I do business.
Okay, I had seen something that Upper Darby tax preparer.
Yes, I'm a tax preparer also. I have home care business in Upper Darby. I run a home health business.
Okay,
Also, I have a real estate business.
okay, you're not an architect?
I'm not architect. I
Okay,
have
yeah.
architect. I have contractor who
I got it.
done it for me.
And you're not a civil engineer?
I'm not a civil engineer.
I'm confused here on the size of the mini market. It shows about the 900, close to 1,000 square feet that was discussed at the last meeting, and that's what this plan continues to show. But
It
you're
shows
saying,
30 feet. The space is the space of the mini market, 32 feet, but 32 feet, the whole space, but it will be counter here. The counter will be almost 26 inch, 30-inch counter or 36-inch counter. So after the 36-inch, it will be only 32, it will be only 22 or 23 feet max in the mini market.
Okay, so you're saying the area where customers would have access to, the accessible area to customers would be far less than that.
Way far less than this.
I see, but it is within that 990 square feet that the mini market
Customer will be
it
only
would be
within the
set up.
300 square feet.
The market would occupy that between counters and
Yes.
customer area and so forth.
Yes.
Got it. I have no other questions.
We've been neglecting the board. Does the board have any questions for this witness or follow-up questions for the last witness? We'll let the board have a free-for-all. Sure.
Can I ask a question of John?
Sure. We can always ask the zoning officer a question.
Josh, what is the size of a parking space under Upper Darby requirements?
Sure. Parking space is required to be 9 by 18.
9 by 18.
So I have some follow-up questions about the parking lot, I guess. So for point of clarity, the A3 that we've been referring to throughout the hearing, the ingress and egress to that parking lot is at the bottom where it says proposed layout option 2?
Yes.
Correct, okay. So for the cars that are parking, I guess in the slanted parking lots, let's do with those first.
As you see on the,
Hold on,
Be-
didn't
be-
ask the question
I'm
yet.
sorry.
Give me a second. The cars that are parked in those slanted parking lots or parking spaces, the way that they leave the parking lot they would have to reverse out, correct?
that has 10 feet space on, yeah, all the parallel parking usually reverse out, but there is a space, 10 feet space for the parallel parking. So they can way back, they can revert, they can go out without reverse. But there's enough space for 10 feet to come up for the parking.
That makes no sense. I'm sorry.
Because
I'm going to jump in.
there is a parallel-
So, hold on.
I'm sorry.
Someone's going to pull in off of 3rd Street
Mhm.
at Railroad Avenue, right?
Mhm.
And they're going to go forward into an angled space.
Right.
When they want to leave that parking lot, they are going to back out of the angled space and their front is facing away from 3rd. There's no way to get out. There's no secondary egress out of the lot, correct?
No, when they come out, they'll back out and they back out and leave from the back out.
So they will have to back out the length. If you're the last spot, back out the length of 11 cars?
Yeah, the same way they enter, they have to back out on that way.
So yes, so the answer is yes, is what you're saying.
Yes.
They have to back to leave those parking spots, you have to back out of the parking lot.
Yes.
Okay.
This guy's
All right.
gonna get nailed.
So I guess I think we've been floating a few numbers about 6 employees, 7 employees, 8 employees. Let's call it 6 for the sake of this question.
Yes.
It's safe to say that some of the employees will be driving, correct?
Could be.
Or, okay. So assuming that, and let's say they park in the back, it's safe to say that at some point throughout the business day, folks will be trying to leave and enter the parking lot at the same time, correct?
Yes.
How do you resolve that with this current configuration?
We'll have a team who can, manage the parking, and we'll have a security there too. So then they can, manage the parking based on that.
But what does
Uh,
that mean, manage the parking? How do you, if a car's coming in and cars need to come out and they have to reverse out, how do you resolve that?
I mean, they had to wait, if car back out, if someone, at the same time, in someone enter the parking, they had to wait to other car leave.
You mean they have to wait on the street is what you're saying? Like
Yes, wait
double
on the
park
street
into the,
and they can back up.
Wait to come up the alley.
okay.
Other board questions?
Looking at Exhibit 8-3, and understanding the, I need some clarity too around the size of the mini mart and access to the walk-in cooler, the chicken cleaning chamber. I know they're not in the mini mart, but are there walls or something that
It will be walled,
complete from ceiling to floor?
yes.
Is there counter that not protects the customers, but kind of keep, it's not an open space? The shoppers or customers would just be kind of confined in a section of the mini mart? Because I'm looking at the door swings, the spaces. It looks like it's kind of open, like the packaging station, like that space is open going into the mini mart. So can you explain that to me?
Yes,
Just
please.
clarity?
So as you see the mini market, once you enter the doorway
Mhm.
from there,
Mhm.
the left-hand side, it will be basically the mini market area. On the right-hand side, as you see it, like the line is says on the middle is 32,
11. Mhm.
3211. This is the area, it will be counter from the back of the cooler or other area, it will be counter come up with almost 36 inches, it will come up in there. Usually it's 24 to 30 or 36 inches, the whole counter will be there. After the counter, it will be no access, any of the customer doesn't have any access to packaging area, cleaning area, or walking floor area. They can get delivery from the counter.
Okay, so what's happening where, say, I'm in the mini mart, I want to go to the chicken cage zone. I know
So
customers
as you
can't
see on
do
the left
that,
side,
but what's there? What is there where it says 30-11? What's there? Is that countered as well? So I'm in the standing in the mini mart. I'm looking at the chicken cage zone. There's 30-11. Is that counter there? So that mini mart area is, it's like an L? Is that?
no, it will be not a counter. So there is a doorway on
Mhm.
the left-hand side. If you see in the corner,
Mhm.
that will be the key, on that area, the chicken cage zone. That will be the chicken area. So people can go and choose their chicken. And once they choose the chicken will go in that door on the right-hand side in the chicken cage area, and chicken is slaughtering in that area. Is full blocked. It will be chicken zoning area. Once it's chicken slaughtering and is coming to the chicken cleaning area. After the processing is done, there is a wall too, the floor to wall. And after the processing done, is either going to packaging or either going to cooler.
So the people can see their chicken while they're in the mini mart? Is that what you're saying?
No, people cannot see the slaughtering. When we do the slaughtering and the cleaning, people cannot see
No,
the
no,
chicken.
no. While they're alive, because you said the people can choose their chicken.
There's a doorway on the left. They can go in and choose their chicken.
Oh, so
Chicken's
customers
alive.
can go into the
Right, it's
chicken,
alive, yes.
chicken case zone.
Yeah, chicken cage zone, yes.
Oh, is that cage? Okay. I need my readers.
It will completely separate from the live chicken zone. Also, the slaughtering zone is, mini market will be completely separate from both sides. It will be from floor to wall, it will be complete wall um, um, with soundproof, with soundproof wall. So it will be no noise coming from this side.
Okay, okay, thank you. Any more questions?
Is the proposed layout on A3 the existing building envelope, or has that been modified in the, like, is that bigger or smaller than what the existing building envelope is?
I believe the previous zoning, they should have,
You're not he's saying you're not changing the size of the building. You're not changing the walls or any of the outside. You're not.
Like, it's not getting smaller or bigger in any way, like what the current building is, what you're proposing is within that building envelope? You're not
yes, within the building envelope, right? We are not changing any size of the building.
Are you done?
I have one question. This parking area that you've laid out for us, is that the linear parking or is that covering up the other businesses for their parking area?
No, it's only designated only for that particular building. It's not leaning any other. It's a corner property, and it's parking is specific only for that building.
What are the dimensions, land dimensions?
I don't have in that plan. The building dimension is 76 feet, 78 feet, 7 inch.
That's the building.
That's the whole, the full, the size of that land. 78
What's
feet
the-
and 123 feet.
I have a question for the zoning officer, if that's all right. Do we have a standard drive aisle width? You know what I mean? Like,
Let me check. Yes. So I know we do in the Saldo, but it looks like a minimum of 12 feet for one-way use only.
12 feet for one-way use?
Yeah, so the width of egress and ingress drives into non-residential parking areas shall be a minimum of 12 feet for one-way, a minimum of 24 for two-way.
Okay, thank you.
That's coming out of the same section D parking area design that the 9x8 18 comes from.
Thank you. Did you attempt another parking configuration and this is where you ended up, or is this your first crack at it?
This will be the 13 parking can available.
What was that? I didn't hear your answer.
That will be the parking space available in this place. It can fit 13 parking. There's one car parking itself. There is another parking can fit.
Does the board have any questions for the other witness that testified, or have we exhausted our questions on this application? Okay. Mr. McCreesh, do you have any other witnesses you'd like to present? Okay. You rest, we'll move A3 into evidence. Mr. Fromhold, do you have a case, affirmative case you want to put on?
I don't, I would like to,
Make
you know,
argument?
make an argument to the board.
What we'll do is we'll take any additional public comment first, and then we'll provide both parties the opportunity to make argument. Is there was public comment at the last hearing. So we'll ask for additional public comment. Sir, in the back, are you Mr. Cartman? No, I'm sorry. That's right. I've seen you before, I think, so that's why I was confused. I apologize. Please come forward. If you can state your name, we'll have you sworn in.
Your name, please?
John Rossiter,
Spell your name, please.
Rossiter.
Can you raise your hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah. I live at 12 Second Street in the Fernwood section of Upper Darby. There's a lot of people who are against this. This is going to impact the traffic like never before. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at there, but I have pictures with me where you can see how these streets are. There's not even a spot for 5 cars. I mean, it's going to bring rodents, the smell, and the traffic. It's never going to work. I actually have a petition here also signed by every single property person or tenant against this. I have a letter from the council person. He's totally against it. He said he sent it to Josh. So he received that also. I have pictures also. They said at the last zoning hearing that there's no residential in the area. There's 3 houses on their street, and on my street, there's about 15 I have pictures of. I can go out my front door and see their building right across the street through the lot. That's how close it is. There's elderly people who live in this area. They're saying we're not going to be able to sit outside in the summer because of the smell from the animals and the hot and everything. You can't contain that smell. It's impossible. And with the parking, they're saying their property is 80 by 123. Their property is only 40 by 100. If you look up the deed, I've already done it. The lot that they're proposing for parking is actually owned by Upper Darby Township. It's called Railroad Avenue. It was just closed off and they made it a lot. So they don't even own that lot that they are preparing for parking. All they own is the building, which is 40 by 100. That lot that they are preparing for parking is owned by Upper Darby Township, and I know this because I have 32nd Street. I have the same lot because it was closed off illegally, and my lot's actually bigger. Mine's 32 by 100. So that side lot isn't even enough for 12 cars. It's impossible at 30 by 100. It's impossible. And they don't own that lot. If you look it up, if you look up the property search and the deed search, it is only 40 by 100 for 27 South 3rd Street. They do not own that lot there. It's Upper Darby Township. It is Railroad Avenue. I would ask that you guys please deny this, and if you would like the petition, I have numerous copies plus the original. Every single house and business owner signed it. They do not want this in the area. You know, it's going to impact the quality of life. It's going to impact the traffic. If you see the pictures, if I can give them to you, you'll see how bad the traffic already is around there.
So the board doesn't accept petitions, but they'll certainly note that you have represented in your testimony that you have one that's signed.
It's signed
And
by
so-
every single person. Not one was okay with it.
Understood.
The one lady on 3rd Street that I talked to said she can hear the animals screaming and crying on 4th Street where there's a slaughterhouse. She said, I cannot live like this if one's on this street. You know what I mean? It's going to impact the quality of life. It's not just the commercial area. There's plenty of houses. Like I said, I walk out my door, I can see their building, I can see Cartman building, and there's 20 houses on my street, 15 to be approximate, you know, and there is houses, there is kids, you know, in the area. It's not the place for this. It's really not. If it was just all businesses or garages, that'd be different, but there is a lot of residential homes there in that area. And on their street, there's only parking on, I would say 3/4 of one side of the street, because where their building is, you got their building, you got JR Paving, you got Cartman, you got sheet metal stores. They're all driveways. You can't park there or block them. So they can only park on one side of the street there, and those parking spots are taken up by the other places and all. Like I said, that lot is not theirs. You can look it up. Their building is only 40 by 100. The lot on the side is actually Upper Darby Township's property. It's called Railroad Avenue. I would ask that you guys please deny it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, if you want to come forward, please state your name and we'll have you sworn in.
My name is Joseph Houston,
Spell your last name, please.
Houston.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. First of all, these people are people that are not like the people that's already there doing the slaughterhouse, all right? Everybody's judging this group by the group that's already there. It's not the same group, it's not the same people, and they don't have the same resources. This group believes in Upper Darby. They've put out and still is putting out close to $3 million plus into doing things for Upper Darby. Buying up buildings, making apartments, making senior homes, creating gyms. They're not the fly-by person that's just coming in there to make money and run the area down. They don't want the area down. They got to work there. They want people to come. And as far as smell and all that, accurate recycling. The garbage disposal is less than 100 feet away. Well, up 200 feet. So come on with the smell. The parking, backing out. I get it. It takes about 25 seconds for someone to back out. So if they held up for 25 seconds, a person come out, they come in, it's common courtesy. I don't think that's going to be an issue. These people have done everything that they could do to bring something good to the area. The fear is they're going to be like the ones that's already there. Once again, they're not the same people. They don't have the same motive. This is going to be the one, once they're there, that's going to set a precedence, and you're going to be able to come back and say, well, this is how they did it on 23rd Street. We think you should do it this way. You got to give people a chance to open up businesses here in 69th Street. You got to give people a chance to open up business in Upper Darby. Upper Darby is going through a big change right now. You need this. You need people to come in. You need people to do the right things. You finally got somebody in that's doing the right thing and want to do it the right way. Ain't nothing that they do going to pass if they don't do it right. So it's going to get shut down anyway. They're willing to do it the right way. So you give them the chance to do it. And if they don't do it, then you do it. But you give them the chance. You just don't cut them off in the beginning. It ain't too much more I got to say other than don't push away the person that can actually be the group that makes that change. And I think that's what you're doing. So hopefully you all think about it. You'll give them a chance and say, okay, let's give them a chance to see what they can do. If they don't do it, then we can shut them down. But give them the chance. And as far as property values going down and smells and stuff like that, once again, they're going not by what they're doing because they haven't did anything yet. They're coming up here telling you that it's going to be affected. How do they know? It hasn't happened. It hasn't been built. Give them a chance to build it. Give them a chance to show you, okay, this is how we do it. It's going to be different. You got to give them a chance. You can't cut them down before it happens. That's all I got to say. You got any questions for me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Any other public comment? If you can introduce yourself, we'll have you sworn in.
How you doing? My name is Joe Santorlasi from JR Paving Company.
Please spell your last name, please.
Santarlasci.
Can you raise your hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. So my name's Joe, JR Paving Company, and so I've been down there I'm 50 now. I've been down there with my family since probably 10, 11, 12 years old. And we used to own on 4th Street from, I'm on 17. So we got 17. I had the property behind 17 on 4th Street all the way to the railroad. And with John, not to reiterate, but it is, you have to know that that land, they allow us to use it. It's owned by the railroad. In between where our properties and that to the railroad, that land is like kind of like, as long as you take care of it, like you can use it because that area from Accurate Trash on 4th Street all the way down to the end used to be nothing but just wide open road. And it used to be a complete dump and trash area where it was just nothing but, tables and chairs and you name it. So anyways, we were one of the first places to build a brand new building over there. And we cleaned that whole railroad from Accurate Trash all the way down to basically where John's at. I mean, literally cleaned it, and we're still cleaning it today. So why I'm here is just to reiterate that there is no, like, if you haven't been down there, like, you gotta drive down there every day. Now, I have multiple big trucks. I have, 80,000 pound, dump trucks, flatbeds, and everything. And just to try to come around on Second Street sometimes and make the right-hand turn on the Railroad Ave to come up Third Street sometimes is nearly impossible, where I've almost had literal like fist fights with people because they just park and they don't, respect that my building is commercial. I can start my trucks up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I can come home at midnight and do whatever I want down there as far as my vehicles. Now, I have a hard time getting around just that alone. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm all for everybody eating because I need to eat too. And I'm a paving contractor, and there is no room for retail on this street. Like, we have a couple of our vehicles, we have a couple employees. We try to put as many of our employees like in our building as far as parking and all, but it gets to the point where, there's no room for retail. This is a close-knit community. We all work together. If one of these guys can't move their vehicle, we'll come out, I'll move, I'll do what I gotta do. But there's not room for 27 parking spots or 15 or 12 in that little area. I'm a paving guy. I do this every day. Okay, I build parking lots. So I don't know how they're gonna do it, and I guess it's none of my business as far as that goes, but I don't want it in the neighborhood. I don't wanna smell it. I don't wanna see it. I have children. My son comes down there. We stay at my shop from 7 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, fixing trucks so they can go out the next day. I got my kids down there, and it's not the right spot. And one of the biggest problems is, Accurate Trash, they've been out of there for 2 years on the railroad. And we used to be able to monitor everything and be able to keep things clean and do all that stuff. Now they're gone. I got another company in there, and they're trying to do, a good job as well. But now they also have another slew of heavy duty trucks and big trucks and trailers. And I'm just telling you, if you haven't been down there, you need to go down there, and you need to stay down there for a couple of days and just monitor the traffic that comes around through there and just see how it works. And like I'm telling you, with what we have right now, we can't get around. So to add another 27 people or 27 cars or however that plan works out, it's impossible. So, I'm all for everybody eating, but like I said, this is not a retail street. This is a mom and pop shop place, couple people to each building, and that's that. We come in the morning, we leave, we come in the evening, we go home, and that's it, So that's where we're at with that. That's all I got to say. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? If you can introduce yourself, we'll have you sworn in.
Damian Stars.
Spell your last name, please.
STARRS.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. I own the property across the street, 12 to 28 South 3rd Street. I'm going to keep this pretty simple. Common sense, this location, this building just is not suitable for this purpose. And it's my understanding that most variances are granted to alleviate some sort of hardship. But the applicants, they don't really have a hardship in this. The actual hardship will be endured by the local residents. So hope common sense prevails. All right, thank you for your time.
Stars. Any further public comment?
Can I go twice?
No. All right. So, not seeing any further public comment, we'll give the parties the opportunity to present argument as succinctly as possible. And Mr. McCrease, we'll let you go first. And if at all necessary, of course, we'll give you a brief rebuttal if needed. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be brief. This is for a special exception, there's a lot of testimony last time about all the safeguards they would take with the regard to some of these witnesses that left public comment. While I respect the comments they made, I understand their concerns. There was a litany of testimony regarding the ventilation and the storage and about the smells and everything like that. They're very knowledgeable about that. The companies that do this work, Darling and other professional companies for slaughterhouses that keep down the smells and stuff like that. So I think a special exception is permitted in the area. They testified about the parking. They tried to get as much parking as they could on the property to alleviate any problems. Like the one witness said, a lot of the area is used for livestock. Very little of the area is used for retail. So it's not like they're going to be having a lot of retail customers coming in and out. Most of it's for the livestock. So I don't think that the 27 spaces are anywhere near what is going to be needed for this proposed use, and I think the 12 or 13 they showed would be enough. And therefore, we request you grant the application. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Does the board prefer I stand or sit or doesn't matter? Yeah,
Just
thank you.
use the mic.
Maybe I'll. This is a special exception. So when you're looking at a special exception, you might say the applicant's on third base. They need to present testimony that there's not going to be an adverse effect on the public health, safety, and welfare. It's a special exception because there is no use called slaughterhouse in the Upper Darby Township District, but that's what is proposed here. So the applicant does, however, have a burden to show that this slaughterhouse is up to code, reasonably up to code, understanding that ultimately USDA will have the approval of the facility once it is specified and built out. But you're looking at this facility that seems to have some glaring defects based on the floor plan that's presented. And by the way, the floor plan that's presented hasn't been done by a professional. There is no professional that's come before this board and testified to the accuracy of the measurements or the rooms or how they function. But you're looking at some basic defects that the testimony is trying to cure, and that is, well, we don't have a room for the USDA official. That's missing on these plans. We don't have a separate cutting room as required by code. That's missing on these plans. We have a bathroom that's not accessible to the people that are dealing with the slaughtering of the animals and the cleaning of these rooms and dealing with the live animals and the manure and everything else, except to go through the mini market to get to the bathroom. There is no bathroom that's accessible other than through the mini market. So I just look at the floor plans themselves and say, okay, does this use meet what you would reasonably expect for a proper slaughterhouse use? And I'm saying based on the plans that aren't, there's no name that goes with them, no date that goes with them, no nothing that goes with them other than their drawings that are shown to you. They're inadequate. But putting that aside, there's a request for a variance here. And anytime you're requesting a variance, a parking variance, it's a serious matter and it ought to be addressed in that way. And the code, your code specifically requires that you have a plot plan. We don't have a plot plan here. We have a drawing that purports to show the outbounds of a property. We have a witness that has questioned whether some of the parking area is even on the lot. But it shouldn't be the obligation of those who have a question about the adequacy of this plan to do that. It's the obligation of the applicant to bring to this board a reliable plan, a plan on which you can judge this application to see whether there is parking that is available, whether there is reasonable access to that parking. And assuming that the plan is correct, assuming that they do own this land that has been questioned, just their own drawing shows that the access to these parking spaces is inadequate, totally inadequate. There's a question as to what the width of these spaces is, the dimension of these spaces, but assuming that that would work, we don't have any indication as to whether the first space is within the right-of-way of 3rd Street. We have what purports to be a slightly more than 10-foot wide aisle, when even for backing out and going forward, the subdivision code, according to the zoning officer, requires a minimum of 12 feet. But you've got these vehicles that are backing out, and this assumes that there are no truck conflicts, that there are no other deliveries during the day, even accepting the testimony that the animals aren't delivered after 7 o'clock in the morning or before 7 o'clock at night. If there is any delivery that is made, and every business has some deliveries, even if a mistaken delivery during those days. But this cannot tolerate any mistakes. And even with just use by the people who are either working at this facility or would be customers at the mini market here, and it was pointed out by the board that you'd have to back out all of these through all of these spaces. If you had somebody coming in, you have a conflict, and then you've got 2 people backing out in the street, and you've got to back out now in an inadequately wide driveway. It would be bad enough if it was just moving forward through squeezing through a 10-foot wide driveway rather than the minimum of 12 required by the code, the saldo. But here you're backing out. You've got a dumpster that's all the way in the back of the lot. Whether that's you're gonna get a truck backing up in that lot, and when that occurs. Those 3 parking spaces at the back of the lot, they're clearly not accessible. They're clearly not accessible. If you happen to get a car in the last space, well, there is that back out that you can turn around and go down the aisle, assuming you don't have any large vehicle parked in that next to last space. But fundamentally, for this board to consider this application, it needs a reliable plan. The applicant hasn't brought to the board a reliable plan, and I don't think there's any basis on which the board can grant relief based upon the exhibits that are before it. The other thing I would note is there is that provision in the code in table 8.1 where it says that this board does have a right to adjust that parking requirement and reduce it to less than the 1 per 150 if it has a parking demand study. Okay, subject to approval of a parking demand study. There has been no study that has been brought before the board. I mean, I could introduce Google photos of these streets to show what happens to be in them at the time the Google photo was taken. But that isn't the same as a demand study. And if somebody's coming before the board and asking for a variance, at the minimum, it should provide what the code says should be provided. So we would submit that There is no hardship. There are other uses, warehouse uses and whatnot that don't require any parking variances, that don't require the congestion that would inevitably be in the diagram that you see before you, assuming that you have a legal right. So I would submit that at best, this is a self-imposed hardship. There is no unnecessary hardship that would warrant a variance. Thank you.
Mr. Fromhold, one question on your argument. You referenced a requirement for a plot plan. Is that the reference in the application requirements, or are you referencing a different citation? in
No,
our
it's
code?
it's a specific requirement of 550-54J, or I'm sorry, 550-54E2F.
Thank you. Just want to make
It
sure
says there's
I
a-
understand what your argument
But
is.
even if that was not a requirement of the code, in order to present a credible parking space, you need to have some reliable plan before you. And
Your
nobody
argument's
has signed-
understood.
nobody signed it.
I want to make sure I had the citation that you were referencing. Any rebuttal, Mr. McCreesh?
No.
All right. What would the board like to do at this juncture? All right, we'll recess into executive session. you can ask for a motion. You don't have to make the motion. Remember, we got you out of that.
Okay, we're all gathered together. I'd like to ask for a motion.
I like to vote for denial.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
A written decision will be issued to all parties within 45 days of this evening. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to 11-1 of 24, Bissett Durham, 51 Richfield Avenue in Upper Darby. It's an R3 residential district. A variance. from
Hold on, wait, guys. If you need to talk, if you can go out into the hall, please. Like I said, we got a big docket tonight.
A variance from section 558A to permit a triplex. And B, a variance from section 550-33A, table 8-1 to permit 4 parking spaces where 6 parking spaces are required. Aye.
Is there anyone who is interested in requesting party status for this application? Seeing none, the board will enter the following exhibit. ZHB 1 will be the application packet, ZHB 2 will be the proof of publication, and ZHB 3 will be the notice photos. Is that
Yes,
you?
yes.
Okay. And you're the applicant, and who are you?
The owner.
No, I meant the other.
Yes, he's the owner.
He's the owner. Okay, and your name?
Luis Morales.
Luis Morales. You good, Bridget?
Can you just spell it for me? Spell your full name for me, please.
My full name?
Yeah, just spell your full name.
Luis Morales. Morales.
Thank you.
And will you both be testifying tonight?
Yes.
Okay, can we have them both sworn in?
Can you both raise your right hands, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And be said, just for clarification, your email address is 2dayssolutionsinc@gmail.com?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure I could read it properly. All right, if you can give the board a summary of what you're looking to do and why you believe you're entitled to the relief.
Nice to see you all again. We were here before, back in February 27, 2024. You provided a variance for us. Back last year, Mr. Luis bought this property with the idea of having like his family living here. So you approved a variance for a duplex. Okay. So the duplex idea was first floor, 1 apartment, and the second and third floor, 2 apartments. Later speaking with the architect, he said, truly, we could work out and do 3 apartments here, and these apartments will have their own entrances. The first idea when this house was purchased was for him to live in one and have his family living in another one too. He takes care of all elderly parents right now. So we are seeking a variance on that property to be a triplex. Right now it's approved for a duplex, and we're seeking also 2 additional parking spaces.
I'm sorry, can I have your name, please?
Bissett,
Okay.
Bissett.
Actually, just a quick question. What's your relationship to the application, to the property?
I am the business consultant for him and an expediter as well. We have been working together in different projects.
Do you have any ownership interest in the property?
I don't.
Okay. So, Mr. Morales, this is really your application then?
Correct.
Anything else you want to mention before we open it up for questions?
The architect also presented a letter. The letter, not sure if Mr. Joshua presented, explaining, even though it was prohibited in the area, we thought that usually we saw this study in the streets, and we find out that other properties in the area are also duplexes and triplexes as well.
Do you have a copy of the letter?
I have it in the email. Yeah. It's loom bill. It was from the architect. His name is Ronaldo de Luna. And basically, he explains really well, technically speaking, the reason why it's possible to have a third apartment there. The only modification will be on the third floor. Right now, the third floor is, let's see. Sure. Yes. My other phone, excuse me.
Not right now.
Your email again, Joshua?
Sure, it's JCHAST.
You wait now.
That's fine. You can read the letter.
Okay, so the letter said describe the proposed improvements, additions, or changes. And the proposed use is a three-family dwelling. It's a triplex. The existing third floor will be the only part that will be modified. It will be the roof right now is tilted and loop. Angle, yes, and it will be raised to a flat roof. And this will be then done with a light frame structure with a vinyl siding. That will be the only modification will be done to the property on the third floor.
The third floor is currently angled, you're gonna make it flat.
Correct.
You mentioned in your testimony that you believe that other properties in the area have also been converted to, you already received relief for duplex, but triplex as well?
Yes, we have seen properties in the same block that have 3 mailboxes in there. They also have 3 electric meters as well.
Have any other properties made similar exterior modifications as you're proposing?
I'm not aware of that.
For the board, it is now updated in the Google Drive, under 51 Richfield Road, 11-1 of 24.
Be impressive and modern. I think at this point, if the board has questions, feel free to ask them as I will.
The height? Ok, él pregunta cuál es la altura de ahora mismo del edificio. We have the plans in here. We know that the lot is 35 by 62. And the height, this is too small to see. You see it?
These is the same plans that were.
35 feet.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
35 feet.
Each one is almost 10 feet.
So you're currently approved, or you received the variance for duplex use for, I guess, for that increased additional unit for a duplex in February, you said? So, excuse me if I missed it, but I was trying to track what changed between now and between February and now, to now that you're asking for a triplex?
What changed is that basically we thought that it could be accommodating another family. Right now, where he lives, 7441 Miller Avenue, there's 2 families living there, okay? One family take care of his children. So we're thinking about having 3 families from the same blood living in the property. And Because there are small families, we thought that could be possible, and the architect saw the viability of that.
So I have a question. Regarding the new floor addition, how many bedrooms do you expect each unit to be?
2,
2 bedrooms each?
yes,
How many bathrooms do you plan to have in each unit?
1,
So 1 bathroom, 2 bedrooms for each floor.
correct.
And then you mentioned they were families. So how many occupants are you expecting?
It will be young families. Right now, he have 2 children. It will be families of, elderly seniors, your mom and dad, and other family. Lotta? His brother as well. If I have
And
a
are
young
they,
family.
you're all related? Like
They're
all the
all
families,
related.
all the families that are going into this building would be related? Oh, okay. All right. All right, cool.
Yes.
And so and then you can correct me if I'm wrong or just follow up, maybe expand on this a little bit more. So the reasoning why you wanted to convert it into a triplex is because you spoke with your architect and that you would think it'd make more financial sense for your family, your extended family, to move into the same building together so you all can live together.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
All this work will be also performed by him. He is a contractor licensed here in the township as well, and he also live in the township.
Where's your heating unit?
El sistema de calefacción, ¿dónde está? En la parte de abajo.
On the basement, yeah.
The basement will be utility, so all the basement will be in the, yes, in the lower floor, basement.
Did you say you were gonna live in the unit with your family as well? I heard all family was living there,
Yes.
but is
Yes.
he and his, okay.
The Morales family, correct.
And each unit is 2 bedroom, and I tried to blow it up, but could you tell me how many square footage is in each unit? I'm sure they're different.
For each room, is like.
Each unit,
Cada unidad, ¿cuántos pies cuadrados
total
tiene
square
cada unidad?
footage.
— 25 by 30 approximately.
Each one.
Mm-hmm.
25, you said 25 by 30
You say 25 by 30?
for the apartment, for each apartment?
He's looking at the plans right now. What we have in front of us is the zoning plan. We don't have the building plans with us. But the lot itself is 35 by 62. Está preguntando cuál es la dimensión de cada piso.
Es lo mismo.
Cada piso,
Es cuánto debe ser.
35 por 62.
Es lo mismo.
It's approximately the same, 35 by 62.
That's the lot.
Yeah, give or take. Dice que ese es el lote. ¿Cuánto queda la unidad?
No, no.
Doesn't remember that. Had that
Okay.
clear.
Okay, all right.
Can you talk a little bit about the parking relief? You're seeking an additional 2 spaces?
Correct. Actually, each apartment, technically, we have like 2 parking spaces. Most of the houses in that particular street have driveways. We already have 2 parking spaces on the driveway, and we were approved for 2 parking spaces on the street. And the back is a small space. It could be park a small compact car in there. Maybe yes, maybe not. But we're looking for a variance to get approved for 2 additional parking spaces.
So you currently have approval for 4 and you're looking for 2.
No, we have approved for 2 because
oh,
we're
okay.
using the driveway, so it will be an additional 2 more.
All right, I'm sorry. Hold, I'm confused about that. So you have 2 parking spaces, off-street parking spaces in the driveway now that you're approved for
Correct.
with the duplex. You're saying you currently have space for 2 more parking spaces that you're seeking like approval for those additional 2 spaces?
Correct.
So, so you've always had space for 4 parking spaces?
No, we have a driveway that accommodate 2 vehicles off the street.
Uh-huh.
And back on February 27, you approved 2 more. So 2, I'm sorry, 2. So we're seeking for 2 more. So it will be a total of 4 of street parking, will be 4 total street parking.
Oh,
Make sense?
for street
Could you
parking.
provide some
Street
clarity?
parking, correct.
So how many spaces are they required to have for this 3-unit development?
It's gonna be 2 per, 2-unit bedroom,
So they're
so
required
6.
to have 6. You have 2 spots on the property. They're looking for a 4-spot.
You're saying that they approved 2 last time, right? Because you would have needed 4 for the duplex, but you had 2.
Well,
So I think you're
Yeah,
trying to say,
this is oddly noticed, I guess. But we can't stack. The variance for the parking was based on the approval of the duplex.
Right.
So you're looking for
oh, I see what you're
a
saying.
you're looking for relief for 4 parking spots.
Right, okay,
Okay.
okay.
Dice entonces que ahora volvemos al primer principio y entonces tenemos que pedir 4
I see what you're
parking spaces.
It was one approval before, so I'm not going to take it as severable that one stands and if the other falls. They're conditioned upon each other.
So the net result is you would, if you were approved, you would have 3 units with 2 off-street parking spots. That's the net result of their request.
That's correct.
They still
Got
only
it.
have
Yes. The fire escape plan is on the construction plans. I think we'll be giving those to the construction department at the moment of filing for the permits. But that was very carefully looked into. We were looking into the firewalls and escapes. We have escapes in the back and also in the front as well.
Is parking on both sides of the street, on that street?
No, it's only one-way street.
So, okay.
It's an alleyway in the back, yes.
You asked that you said that your expected tenants were gonna be, like, extended family members. Do all of them drive to and from work?
Not really. The
No?
elderly parents don't drive,
Okay,
and the other brother does drive.
okay.
So technically, it would be only like 2 or 3 vehicles.
Okay, so you only have 2 or 3 drivers in these collective 3 households?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other board questions?
Is there any public comment?
You have a
Come up. You can be sworn in.
state your name, please.
David Bento,
Can you spell your last name for me, please?
B as in boy, A as in apple, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, O as in organization, E as in Edward.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. Question. I have a question.
Oh, you have a question. Okay,
Good on that?
go ahead.
Okay, so,
Oh, not, you have a question? Can you,
so,
this is public comment, so direct your question to the board.
Okay,
If it's
yeah,
appropriate,
and then
we'll have it
the board might-
answered.
yeah, my question on, this, application, How many family member total, will be living in this, proper, duplex
Do you,
or triplex?
do you mind clarifying that for Bissette or Luis? Do you mind, say, how many family members are gonna be?
Total member, yeah, total, okay, let
I
me
got
put it this way.
Uh,
Occupant,
I understand your question.
Mhm.
I'm asking the applicant, how many people are you proposing that are gonna be living?
First floor, we have a couple, the elderly couple, they're the parents.
Okay,
Two. The second floor will be a family of 2 children with mom and dad, will be 4.
so 6.
And on the third floor will be also a brother with wife and 1 child.
so.
So 9 people.
So now, my follow-up question will go to, Josh.
Yes.
So has the property already approved for these people to live in it? Is it already approved?
So right now, they are approved to have a duplex there. So they've been approved by the zoning hearing board and by license inspections for a duplex.
With the number of family member that they just listed?
Okay, so I'm just gonna clarify. The use is not dependent on the number of occupants. Okay?
Okay.
So they're approved for 2 dwelling units. This board doesn't regulate how many people are in those units. So we have no control over how many people are living in any dwelling unit.
But is it,
Could I supplement
It-
that as well?
but
We
is
also
it-
have no control over what people, who is living in those units. So,
Well,
just to be clear, we keep talking about family. I just want.
That's irrelevant.
To an extent. So I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but I understand this is comment. So if you want to make a statement about the relief that's being requested, we entertained a couple questions, but I would ask you to
so
make a
my
statement if you
concern,
have one.
okay, I have a concern. Let me put it this way.
Okay.
My concern is safety issue. So that is my concern with the occupancy and with the parking situation in Upper Darby. It is also a problem because that street, I believe you have no more houses there that already set with the parking situation. Now they have 2 parking. They are calling for more. So how are you going to work out?
Can I ask you a question?
No, let him make his comment.
How are you going to work out those that were already struggling with the parking situation? Because we get this on an ongoing basis.
We're not asking questions anymore. If you want to make a statement, you can make a statement.
Well, the statement I'm going to make here, I'm having a concern with that of the parking situation that we are faced with in Upper Darby. And what they are asking for, I think it's going to put extra constraint on other people that are already there living in that, facility, or the environment. And then maybe the next thing I'm going to touch on, but again, I don't know how far you guys are with this, but safety is a concern where, you don't have control over it, but too many people, as chairman of the Public Safety Committee, things that we deal with in this township are just similar stuff like this. So I just want the board to, consider the safety factor of, the occupancy. I know it's not your place to, say how many people are gonna live in a building or what's up, but we receive complaint in terms of fire. We deal with how many people live in a house and all of these things. So I just want to comment on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Right. The board like to do.
Okay, we're gonna take
Executive.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance.
I'd second that. All in favor?
Aye.
No.
And you will receive a notice in 45 days. Thank you.
Have a good night.
luck. You too. Moving on to 11/2/24, Sermon Kamal, 349 Wayne Avenue in Lansdowne, in the R1 Residential District, requesting a variance from Section 55039B1 to permit a front yard fence with a maximum height of 8 feet where a front yard fence is not permitted, and B, variance from Section 55039C3 to permit a fence to be located directly above a retaining wall.
And we'll apologize. It's Simran, correct? Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Nope, that's not your fault, Deb. That's on
multiple
the
floors.
people's making the notice, which is not you, but it's some other people, including me. All right. So is there anybody present this evening who would like to request party status for this application? Seeing none, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB1 will be the application packet, ZHB2 will be the notice photos, and ZHB3 will be the proof of publication. Mr. McCreesh, it looks like you're representing most of our applications tonight. Please proceed.
Yeah, we'll be quick on this one.
Mr. McCreesh, before you start, is this two sets or there one
Just
set?
one set, yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
one set, okay.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
collectively
what I
mark these photos as A1 then.
You want to state your name and spell it for the court recorder?
Can you spell it? Spell your full name for me, please. Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, Mr. Kamal, you're the property owner? Okay, and you had this fence installed? Okay, and you did, the person that did it did tell you that they had to get the zoning approval? And the fence and the retaining wall is about about 4 feet high, and how high is the fence above the retaining wall? 3 feet. And the fence is see-through. It's and it goes around the side of the property also. Okay. And then there's also a gate that goes across. Okay. What's the purpose of having the fence in the front yard above the retaining wall? Okay. You said safety for the kids and the dogs, so if they're in the front yard, you don't want them falling off the edge of the over the retaining wall. Okay. And the height of the gate, Okay. And is the gate always open or closed, or it's usually open? Do you close it at night or no? Okay. I have no further questions.
Right, board questions? Who's watching the game?
I have a question. Was the land always that high?
Yes.
You didn't get built up?
From the driveway, it was always up, but from the front end, it wasn't that high. You'd have to move some of the dirt from the driveway to get the wall up.
Okay. And that allowed you to put the fence, the railing, I'll call it, around the property?
Yes, sir.
Which way does the fence pivot when you try to come out your driveway?
But the gate pivots in.
Doesn't come out towards the sidewalk.
Doesn't block the sidewalk?
I think one of the pictures you can see that it's open and it's against the side of the property.
So the fence, at the end of the wall, the fence to the driveway opens in. And then I just didn't remember from the photos, it's all along going up the driveway? Okay, and I know it's across the front, okay.
Is it a, I'll call it like a trolley gate?
There's two gates.
See that side, so it's one on the
I
side.
know.
Okay, so my question is related to so why specifically do you need this fence? Okay, so you mentioned safety. Can you elaborate a little more on?
Yeah, they're about 7 and 8, and they usually will not in the front yard. And if I step in, I have to street wash, not, then they might bark in the street, because cars will come down as well.
Okay.
Other board questions? All right.
Ready to make a motion?
Make a motion that we approve this variance application.
I second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I see the letter in 45, 52. Okay, we're moving on to 11-3 of 24. Patricia Scally, 3648 Taylor Avenue in Drexel Hill. It's an R2 residential district. Variance from section 550-39B1 to permit an existing 4-foot front yard fence where a front yard fence is not permitted.
All right, is there anybody wishing to take party status for this application? All right, seeing none, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB 1 will be the application packet, ZHB 2 will be the notice photos, and ZHB 3 will be the proof of publication. Ms. Scally?
Yes,
And who do you have with you?
I'm her grandson, Thomas DeLuca.
Are you both testifying this evening?
Yes.
Okay, can we have them both sworn in, Bridget?
Both raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. I do.
All right, if you can tell us about the fence and why you need to have it.
Well, my neighbor has a, not grass, invasive weed, vine-like weed. It crosses sidewalks, it does everything. And it was creeping into my yard, and I'm too old to rip that stuff out. And so I had my other grandson put up a fence with plexiglass. So when he cuts his lawn, the grass just stays on his side. Only now, he doesn't use a bag anymore, and it just blows all over, including the street.
So this, go
So
ahead.
the variance request is for, I don't remember the exact height, it's around 4 feet tall.
Okay.
The white picket fence with gaps in between the planks of the pickets. There's a small piece of plexiglass that runs along the bottom. It's about 6 or 8 inches tall, right? Or is it
No,
taller
it's
than that?
half a sheet, the lengthwise, half a sheet. 4 by 8 cut in half lengthwise.
So
So
24
that
inches.
covers the bottom portion of the fence that prevents any detritus from his yard while he's mowing or blowing things around from passing through the fence into her yard without blocking the view or anything. The neighbor is at 3652 Taylor Avenue.
Yeah.
His property is a corner property with Edmonds Avenue, and he doesn't have what would really be considered his backyard fenced in at all. He has a porch on the side with Taylor Avenue, and that area has been fenced in since before the fence would have fallen under your current zoning regulations, grandfathered in. So this is sort of completing his side yard. If you look at the overhead view that was provided, he's got a fence that runs along Edmonds Avenue to the corner with Taylor, and then from Taylor to about their property line. The fence is there to both stop his lawn detritus from going over the property line, but is also there to protect her property because the neighbor is currently having a dispute about where the property line is, which is what we have to do after we're done with the zoning board, getting the fence approved. But this is to prevent him from attempting to take any more of her existing property as well.
So the fence, just so it's clear on the record, the fence runs along the the common property line. It doesn't cut across the front of your property.
Not even on the property line, it's set back, I think something like,
About 4 inches from the.
Oh, I don't mean like
Yeah.
along
Yes.
the
Oh, yeah,
property
yeah.
line. This is just a side yard fence that happens to go, it goes in front of the front plane of the house and continues to the sidewalk line.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's also the common line with what may be considered the neighbor's rear yard.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the part of his house, so
It's a corner lot, we understand, but
it's just the way that house is placed on that particular lot, it's a little awkward. Backyard is only maybe a few feet across, if anything. So that's why the side yard has been utilized as a backyard.
so the yard that abuts your property is particularly narrow?
Yes.
Is your-
And then in the back, like what we would consider the back of her lot is where he may have also had a yard, but instead he has a garage and some other structure or patio or something. So the actual part of his property that is by Edmonds and Taylor, that corner, is used as the fenced-in yard.
Is your yard that abuts his property also particularly narrow? Would you call it a narrow yard?
I have a nice yard.
Not your front yard, but the yard on the side where the fence is. Is that narrow?
Yes.
Okay. We'll open it up for board questions.
So it went over my head, but the fence that's there now, you're referring to the front, when you say the front yard, keep the existing fence.
Actually, I consider it the side yard.
Right, because, okay, but it's the front of the house on the side.
Yeah, so this fence extends along the common property line from like the midpoint of the house to the sidewalk, but it doesn't go in
Right.
front of the house at all.
Right, and you're not asking for the front. You're just
No, it's
keep-
just the fence that has already been put up there, yeah.
No sidewalk will be harmed.
No, the sidewalk is very much passable. There's plenty of room even for me.
So I have a question. And so this chain link fence on your neighbor's property, that pre-existed but has always been open on that one side?
No, there used to be another chain link fence on the neighbor's property, right?
Yeah.
So theirs was completely fenced in at all
Chain link
times?
fence continued down the side of my property.
Okay, all right.
But they set it back because they didn't want to wait till I could get a survey. But I still
This was
got-
a
I still got
previous
the
neighbor.
survey.
Oh, previous neighbor, okay. So there was a pre-existing fence there.
I still had it surveyed.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other board questions?
Okay, is there any public comment? No, okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve this application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, you'll receive a letter in 45 days.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
moving on to 11/4 of 24, Alan Sharmore, I'm sorry. How do you pronounce it?
Alan Chamel.
Okay, hi. 233 Ashby Road, Upper Darby. It's in the R3 Residential District with a variance request from section 550-44C1, table 10-1, to permit a patio that encroaches more than 10 feet into the front yard setback. And B, variance from section 550-44C1, table 10-1, to permit a side yard patio setback of 0 where 4 feet is required.
All right, is there anybody who wishes to request party status for this application? Seeing none, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB 1 will be the application packet, ZHB 2 will be the notice photos, and ZHB 3 will be the proof of publication. Can we have Ms. Charmeau sworn in, please?
Are you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Commissioner Mo, if you can give us a little explanation of the patio and why you're seeking relief and why you need the patio to be in the front and side yards.
Okay. I have lived in Upper Darby for 23 years, and I have my mom who has dementia. Excuse me if I try to be emotional here because of what I go through with her.
Take your time.
She loves to be outside and being out there, walking in the grass. She started to eat the grass. So the best way I could do is try to cover it up because of safety. And I think Josh and Courtney, I'm trying to hold back. The day they came to my house, my mom was in the hospital because she had eaten something. And I had to walk them, talk to them and left. So in general, I did it for safety, so for my mom to be out there, to be able to sit outside. In the house, I have pictures. I think I've shown them some of the pictures. Her dementia is so aggressive that if she sits here right now, she starts to chew the microphone. So, and it's therapeutic for her to be outside. That's the only thing I could do to keep her safe, not being in and out of the hospital or her eating whatever she sees outside. Other than that, my main thing was safety, like I always said to them. So,
Can I just ask you a couple questions, if you don't mind?
yeah.
So the patio you're putting down is made of concrete pavers?
Yes, I just lay them there, no cement, nothing.
Okay.
I just, got them and put them, never dug anything like digging, no concrete, absolutely nothing. It's just there.
And do you have a rear yard?
If I have a what?
Do you have a backyard?
No.
No. Do you have an alley behind the house?
Yes.
Okay. And so is this really the only place that you can create a safe environment that serves the purpose?
Right.
Okay.
Because I come from the front, it's a side. I'm at almost the corner. So I have this side and the little front.
Any questions from the board? All right. I will just see if there's any public comment on this application. Go ahead. You remain sworn. If you can just reintroduce yourself for the record.
David Bento. I believe you.
Go ahead.
You didn't spell it?
Yeah, no.
Okay. So I'm here to support her with what is going on with her. So she lived close by from me. I live just few yards away from Marshall Road. And outside of that, I also visit with the family, and I personally, knew the mom. So, I mean, from her, you listen, there are a whole lot of challenges with the older woman, 76-year-old. And I mean, seeing your mom into certain condition is just heartbreaking. So with the lawn up front, the grass, when she's out there, as she said, she would just go straight to the floor, grab stuff, and then straightly in the mouth. So when I visited the house recently with everything up front, I felt a little bit relieved because unless you drop stuff on the floor there, that's the only way she's gonna pick it up. It's clean, nice area. During the summer, she's out there and moving around. So I'm here to support her that she really need this for her mom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Can I get a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve this with conditions that the pavers stay loose,
Or,
It remains,
down.
remains constructed as presented in the application.
can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, you've been approved, then you'll get a letter in 45 days.
You guys.
Okay,
Good
thank
luck
you.
with everything.
luck.
Good night.
We wish you the best.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to 11/5/24.
That one, she was gonna ask for a continuance because she's in, negotiations to enter into a commercial lease, and so she was asking, so we would just like to continue it, to make sure the commercial lease goes through, and then we might withdraw.
How long of a continuance are you requesting?
How long can you?
Well, we renotice anyway, so we'll just,
Can you do-
we'll just continue. it. We can do 2 months.
Two months.
We will renotice, but we'll continue this till really,
January.
hold on,
Then
hold
I
on.
should-
Wait.
we should know we should know definitely in 2 months whether it's gonna stay commercial or
Well-
we're gonna ask for the residential.
We'll tentatively continue this application to January 28th, 25, but we'll state that this will be renoticed and reposted and republished.
Okay. And if they enter into a commercial lease, I'll withdraw it before that, so.
We'll leave that to you, Mr. McCreesh.
I'll let Josh know.
Okay. Moving on to 11/6/24. Sodi and Brothers, 6398 Baltimore Avenue in Lansdowne, PA. It's in the C4 Commercial District. And they're requesting a special exception pursuant to 558A to permit the sale of used automobiles, and B, variance from section 558B to permit the mixed use of automobile sales and repairs. And I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong.
Just one thing. Was there anybody here for 224 Long Lane? All right, seeing none. Is there anyone here for 6398 Baltimore that wants to request party status?
No.
No, 342 is a separate application. Yeah, we had 224 and 342. Yeah. But 6398 Baltimore, anybody requesting party status? Seeing none, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB1 will be the application packet, ZHB2 will be the notice photos, and ZHB3 will be the proof of publication, and we'll turn it over to Mr. McCreesh.
Yes, could you state your name and spell it for the court reporter?
My name is Sandeep Singh, Sandeep. Last name is Singh, Singh.
Okay,
Raise your right hand. Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what's your relation to the property?
I'm the owner of the property.
Okay, and who else owns the property?
It's my father and two of my other brothers.
Okay. I wanted to point out for the board that we were here in 2021 in front of the Upper Darby Zoning Board, and they approved the exact same use. I have a copy of the decision if you want. It's case number 11-1 of 2020. It was subject to only having 20 cars parked at one time, which they're fine with. The thing happened is it was kind of in the pandemic. He was busy with doing warranty work for the auto repair business that his brothers already do there, and didn't have time to get the permit, and which he didn't know about, and so it lapsed. So we had to reapply and come back here today for your permission again. But permission was granted a few years ago by this board. But I know it's a different board. They do repairs. They have, I think everything's in the opinion, and you can, yeah, how many bays do you have?
We have 2 bays, basically.
2 bays.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Sure. We have 2 bays for now. Yes.
And how many,
What? I didn't get the last thing you said. You said we only have 2 bays and then what?
2 bays and 1 painting booth, basically. That's it. That's about it.
and how many employees do you have?
It's 4 of us. It's basically all the family members, 2 of us as the owners and 2 of the other employees, which are my cousins. So-
Okay, and you want to add the auto sales, the used auto sales?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and when we were here 3 or 4 years ago, you remember the board restricted the amount of parking to 20 cars on the lot.
Right, and then there's no public parking on the Baltimore Avenue, on the road, basically.
All right, and how many parking spaces do you have on the lot?
We basically, if you look at it, if we do have more than 20, but we keep it limited to 20. So, you know, we have enough room to move the cars around in case we have to.
All right, and how many cars do you park there now for like the auto repair?
For now, we have a total of about 25 to 30 cars. And that's like customers leave the cars and they come pick up next day.
All right.
And customers come in and drop off.
And-
basically.
And how many spaces would you need for the used cars?
For used cars, I would only need 20 parkings. And that's about it. But I will also need 5 parkings for customers parking, which we have plenty of space for.
Does the board have any questions? I don't have any more questions.
Sure.
How many cars are you expecting to have?
20 cars per sale.
For sale, and that's what, I think that's what it was limited, that's what we went through last time, and that's what the board limited to, and we'd be willing to accept that limitation again, that only 20.
During your past, did you ever go over those 20 cars?
Well, we didn't get to selling.
Oh, okay.
We never applied for it. We did apply for the zoning, but I was preoccupied with the repair. So we had a couple of contracts with the warranties, so I never applied for a dealer's license, which I was supposed to within 1 year after the approval.
So all the cars that were on your lot were always for repairs?
For now, yes.
And then how many cars were on your lot for repair at any given time?
Somewhere around 25, not more than 25.
Okay.
So I just want to be clear that the previous decision is that there are the findings of fact where there are 20 parking spaces at the subject property. And the condition was that there can only be 20 cars on site at any particular time, and that no cars be parked on any public road. So it's not, the board previously did not attach a condition that only 20 cars are for sale. It's that there are 20 cars on site. So that I would interpret that to be inclusive of cars for sale, there for repair, and any employee cars as well.
Well, that was actually going to be my question. I wanted clarification on that because the numbers, when you're, I guess, as you're testifying to the parking count, are these striped parking spaces, like designated striped parking spaces?
No,
Okay.
not for now, no.
So it's basically like how you can fit them
Yes,
in there,
yes.
essentially, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when you're saying you have like 25 cars at a time, that's like in the aggregate, whatever use you're doing there, that's all the cars that you're saying.
Sometimes it could be less than, it depends on how the business is. We mostly have drop-offs. People drop their cars off and they leave. We have a small office that could only take like a couple of people, and then we have the customers, when the cars are done, they come pick it up, and then we have new customers that come in. Sometimes it could be less than 10 cars at a time.
But do you understand what board council just sort of outlined the limitation that was previously obtained, or the condition that was previously placed on your previous approval was for 20 cars, period, like on site? You see the distinction there?
Yeah,
Okay.
he understood that, and
Okay.
and he's agreeable to
I do,
limiting
yes,
to
yes.
20 cars in the future.
The other
if
thing
it's
is we're moving forward to selling cars. We're not gonna be doing as much repairs. Cause repair is that business is almost next to zero now with all the electrical cars coming.
So you would
So-
welcome that condition now, 20 cars, period. That's a
Yeah, that's
condition you
fine.
would
I'm
welcome.
fine with it, yes.
Repair or sell?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you be open to striping your parking lot with those 20 spots?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, is there any public comment?
Anything, I mean, anything else, Mr. McCready?
No,
Okay,
no, no, Mr.
sorry.
Hall.
Just want to make sure.
Thank you.
Right, so seeing no public comment, I'm just going to reiterate that the proposed conditions during questioning, before there's a motion, if the board choose to approve, were that it's limited to 20 cars total on site, no cars parked on the public roads, and that the applicant will stripe the parking spots to township specifications.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to approve this application with those conditions. Should I repeat them again? Or,
He understands.
I
it. He-
understood it.
He understands.
Yeah.
We got.
And they'll be in the decision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
I second it.
we understand.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. He'll get the permit right away this time instead of waiting.
Okay, yeah.
Thank
don't
you
let
so
it
much.
expire.
Right, and-
Receive a notice in 45 days.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to 11/7 of 24. Amina Patwari. Is that?
Yes, it's
Okay.
pretty close, yes.
Another one?
Tonight.
Yes,
Oh,
I know.
my.
This is it, though. This is
Okay.
it. I'm not gonna
Okay.
be this busy again.
342 Long Lane in Upper Darby. It's in the R3 Residential District.
Yes.
Seeking a variance from section 558A to permit conversion of a duplex to a triplex, and D, variance from section 550-33A to permit 2 parking spaces where 6 parking spaces are required.
I'm going to be speaking on her behalf. She does.
You live there too, right?
No.
Yeah, you don't live there. I'm sorry. Okay. This is
Tran-
Amina
She has an attorney.
Patwardi, and this is her daughter. Amina's English is
Okay.
okay, but not as good as her daughter's.
So we'll start with her daughter. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Tangina Hawk. I can spell that.
Sure, can you please?
Yes, T-A-N as in Nancy.
Wait, T-E? Sorry.
T-A.
Okay.
N as in Nancy, J-I, N as in Nancy, A. Last name, H-A-Q-U-E.
And so you're going to be serving as translator then?
Yes,
So
attempting.
if
She's
we
also
if we can
familiar
have,
with the property, she's there all the time. It's her mother.
can we have her sworn in, please?
Sure, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth and the whole truth but the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just going to ask you, you understand that anything you translate needs to be a direct translation?
Yes.
As
As
close
best
as
as I can.
possible, and anything you relay to the board needs to be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone here present who is requesting party status for this application? Seeing none, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB 1 will be the application packet, ZHB 2 will be the notice photos, and ZHB 3 will be the proof of publication. Go ahead, Mr.
Okay,
McLeish.
and I do want, you want to say, Amina, you want to say your name and you want to spell her name?
Well, we can have you
please?
sworn in too. I just didn't.
A-M-N-A, Amina, P-A-T-W-A-R-Y.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Say yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so for brevity's sake, these are these are the units, and it's like a long row of about
Mr.
8
Mc-
or 9 different.
we'll just call this an offer of proof
Oh,
because we
okay.
have no one opposing. So if you want to make an offer of proof, we'll have someone affirm it and we'll be
Okay.
good to go.
Okay, thank you. And her daughter can add if I miss anything, but there, and you can see, I know you have it pulled up, you can see there's about 8 or 9, townhouses, row homes. A lot of them right now there are two units. She lives on the second floor, which is a 2-bedroom apartment. The third floor is rented, which is a 2-bedroom apartment. And the first floor, they used to use this first floor. Her husband passed a couple of years ago, and so they have no use for the extra space in the first floor. It's a small living space, has a separate entrance, say on the front, on Long Lane. The second and third floor, you enter through the rear, around the back. But there are 2 spaces directly out front. And if you see, there's that like parking lot right off of Long Lane in front of those buildings. And at the end of that parking lot, there are, they're not lined or anything, but there's, her daughter will agree with me, there's 6 or 7 spaces for cars that are don't belong to anybody, meaning, so if people have guests or if she comes or whatever, there is extra parking on that property that's not designated to each unit. Each unit has 2 in the front. And as it's similar to the previous application you had a couple ones ago tonight. There's 6 required, and she has 2 right now. The proposed apartment, again, on the first floor is rather small. It's a 1-bedroom, a small kitchen, and about 500 to 600 square feet. So it probably would be a single person or 2 at most. Yeah. And presently, the person is a family member or an uncle or a cousin? Her brother. Her brother wants to move in downstairs, so they're trying to convert that space and live in. I don't have anything else. Do you have any? Did I miss anything, Tangina?
No,
No.
that was perfect.
Okay.
I
All
just
right.
want to specify about the extra spacing. If people are courteous, 6 or 7 cars, but if you're rude and you're parking weird, maybe 5 or 6. So just wanted to specify about the extra space.
If you have any questions for Amina or Tangina, go ahead.
I'm sorry, what was that comment you just made? What was that? If people being courteous, you said extra space, you mean the
Yes,
other
ma'am.
parking outside of
Yes,
the
ma'am.
2 that
So
you were?
there's extra space in between the units. So the parking lot kind of curves in.
Right.
And in between, there's extra space for approximately 6 cars. So, but they're not lined. And because it's on that curve, you
Mhm.
have to park a specific way. And if people are courteous, 6, 7
Oh,
cars
got it.
easy. But if
Okay.
you're not and you're being rude, less than 6
Okay.
cars.
Okay, yeah, I know that corner very well. And the first floor where the doors are, so right now, what is it being used as? Just,
Well, right now
ground?
it's vacant. Right now it's vacant. But
Yes.
before your family, you had a
Just
big.
storage.
They used it for storage and okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The family was bigger, but
Okay,
but
so it's just a storage spot. How do you enter the other 2 units?
there's a door in the back. There's a walkway that goes around the side and
The side of the building,
to the side of the building, and then you enter through the back.
the parking in the back?
No, there's no parking in the back. I've been there, and I think several of the other units are three also, or
Yes.
triplexes.
Okay.
and I think all of them enter on the back? Is
Yes,
that, yeah,
yes.
it's just,
Except
it's
those
just
bottom first
just the
floor.
bottom floor open, they're all the same, only the bottom floor goes out to, you see from Long Lane. The other ones are in the back. Yeah, I think there's some grass in the back, or, yeah,
A beautiful field.
yeah, there's some grass in the field, but there's no parking or alley or anything in the back.
Steep comes to mind. It's a steep slope.
I think you're correct. I was only there once, but I think you're correct.
Are the town, well, like, how many townhomes are in that? I don't know what to call it. It's not really a cul-de-sac.
Complex.
Just there, yeah.
Approximately 9, I haven't accounted for it.
Yeah, I didn't
Okay.
count either, but I'd say it's 8 or 9. Maybe if you can tell by the township records.
It's okay. I just wanted to get a sense of how, what, so is that, I guess, complex, is that subject to like one HOA or community association, right? Or are they all just individually owned?
I think it really depends. There's no HOA, thankfully.
Yeah, I think they're all individually owned, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all just duplex, just
Looks like maintains the lot.
Their parcels, so are the parking spots, so I think, well, I guess I'll just ask for the record. None of these townhomes have access to street parking there, right?
Correct.
That's, okay.
Yeah.
The,
There's no street parking on Long Lane.
right, so,
You pull off there and there is that lot. And
okay.
Each one has two that are dedicated to the town.
I guess that's what I was trying to get at. When you say dedicated, are those parking spots, since there's no HOA or association, those parking spots are deeded part of the lot? Those 2 parking spots? Are they?
It's more of a, maybe it is deeded, but it's more of a courtesy thing. 2 per unit, meaning they fall right in front of each unit, so it's very specific to each unit. So,
Okay.
and
But it's,
every
okay.
unit marks it up so that you know, like, this is 342, this is 340, and as a courtesy, you shouldn't park in someone else's spot.
I see, okay.
Yeah, they are marked. I'm not sure if they're included in the deed.
Do cars typically park on the other side, I guess where the trash dumpster is, but not the way that the cars facing the house are? Like, I don't know, would you say parallel? I don't know.
I guess parallel, like,
Yeah.
the crash, not often closer to the bottom where Marshall Road is. I've seen
Okay.
2 or 3. I think they've been getting multiple cars, like maybe 3 per family. But other than that, no.
Okay, because I guess they need that space to back up, do
Yeah.
a U-turn. Okay.
My question is, you mentioned that the person who was going to move into the bottom or the new unit is your brother. Do they drive to work?
Brother, Gary doesn't. No, he doesn't drive.
He doesn't drive. Okay.
No license.
How many, are the parking spaces lined?
Yes.
The ones that are, how many
The ones in front are, yes.
the ones that are tied, or
Yes.
tied is the wrong, the ones that are associated with the respective townhomes are, how many parking spaces would you say is there now? Like your best estimate, I guess?
Before getting to the extra spaces, I would say 8 to 10.
Well, no, it's more than that, because each unit has 2. I've been there, and it's,
Well, before
each unit has 2, so there has to be like 16, because there's 8 or 9. 6 units.
There's a unit right here, too.
It's 12 total.
6 parcels, so then there's 12. I've been there, each of them has two spaces in front of
That's not
the
including
parcel. And then there's the spots at the end.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess it's, the earlier testimony that, I'm gonna call them for record, the flex spots. I guess the spots that are not directly in front of the townhomes are essentially shared for like guests of the people who currently live in those units and things of that nature?
Yes.
Okay. You said it's about 6 or 7 of those.
Yes.
Okay. How many triplexes would you say is in that?
That's rough. Let's see, it seems like our unit is the only one that's currently not a triplex, if I'm being honest. So I would say the rest of them are triplexes.
Okay. So 12 spots.
But I would also like to mention not everyone drives or has a car.
Are there any problems with the parking now? Is there?
Not a problem in parking any place. This look like parking lot.
I was only there once. I was there during the daytime. There was no issue. People could be at work or whatever. There were not many cars parked there.
Any other board questions? So I'm just,
To go get her phone to show the pictures, I told her it's okay.
oh, it's okay.
Mom,
That's okay.
So I'm just gonna ask, you heard, I know you testified a bit, but you also heard your attorney's testimony. You were here for that entire testimony?
Yes.
And, you heard everything that he said. Do you agree with what he stated?
I agree.
And was there anything else you'd like to add?
Okay, is there any public comment? Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve this application. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time tonight.
You receive a notice in 45 days.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Clean house.
If we already have 6 for next month, let's try to get it done
Our last one.
so far. When's the deadline? Next Friday? Oh, for December was today? All right, go ahead,
Okay, moving on.
unless
to-
you're done. Sorry, hold on.
No carry on.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Nirvana Smoke Shop LLC, 540 South Oak Avenue in Primos. It's in the C2 Commercial District, requesting a special exception pursuant to Section 55022C to permit a smoke shop.
All right, is there anyone present requesting party status for this application? Seeing none, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB1 will be the application packet, ZHB2 will be the notice photos, and ZHB3 will be the proof of publication. We have counsel.
Good evening, Board. Saudi Mejia on behalf of Nirvana Smoke Shop LLC.
Please spell out for me by your full name.
Yes, first name Saudi, Saury. Last name Mejia, Mejia.
And Mr. Mejia, do you have a business card?
Yes.
Because you're not listed on the application. So make sure I have your contact.
An application for each member of the board.
That'd be great. We love that.
One time I went to the hearing, I only brought two, everyone was sharing, so.
Yep.
You learned.
Thank you.
Killing the trees, killing the trees.
Hey, you're recycling.
Thank you. Is this identical to the application that was submitted?
It should,
Any updates?
there should be updates, I don't know if the questions. Are you able to get that?
So we have some additional
pretty much-
things in the back here. So exhibit, is there an exhibit A?
That should be the lease.
The lease?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Lease we had as part of the application packet. So
B would be the,
So I'm gonna walk through this, and this is how we're gonna label it. So, everything before your Exhibit B has already been marked as ZHB1. But we'll mark it again, everything up until Exhibit B as A1. A2 will be the notification of tenant use letter. A3 will be the floor plan, which is 2 pages, right? And A4 will be the site plan. I know I just hijacked your exhibits there, but that makes it easier for us. So please proceed.
all right. Take a step up. Doc, could you state your name and spell your last name?
Nidal Hamayo, Nidal, first name, last name Hamayel.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth and will be nothing but the truth?
Yes.
What's your relation to 540 South Oak Avenue?
I'm the new tenant there.
What unit are you renting?
We're renting 2 units, which is C, B and C, yes. But for the smoke shop, we're applying a permit for unit B.
And you stated you signed a lease. Have you paid a deposit and
Yes, we paid the first month and security deposit as well.
okay. And have you invested any other, I guess, funds into this tenancy?
Not yet. I mean, no.
All right, so let's go to the code 550-22C2. So what is your intended use for this unit, Unit B?
Smoke shop. Basically, it's gonna tobacco-related products and accessories.
Okay. And are you aware that smoke shops cannot operate between 9 p.m. and 10 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay. And are you going to be selling any alcoholic beverages?
No.
On the premises? Do you know how close the closest residentially, I guess, residentially zoned property is?
Yeah, it's over 0.2 miles away.
Okay. And are you aware that tobacco products are prohibited to be sold to anyone under 21?
Yes.
And what is the current, if you know, the current use of that unit?
It was a part of storage for Coco's Pizza, which is currently still exists, but they have the other side of the building, the plaza.
Is the unit, does it have like a ventilation system?
It does, yes, but we're gonna double check all that before we get into business to make sure it's all running.
So there's a,
done right.
there's a HVAC system with
Yes.
vents and all
Yes.
that? Okay. And are you going to do any great changes to the unit?
Nothing major, just the sheetrock, flooring, and drop ceiling, replacing the drop ceiling.
Okay, are individuals going to smoke in the shop or?
No, smoking in the shop is not permitted.
So they're just gonna purchase and,
Yes, it's part of the lease too.
and do you know? Actually, I didn't give this picture to the board. It's just a picture of the premises in the street.
Okay, we'll mark this as A5 then.
This is supposed to be marked as A5. You estimate, will you be allowed to use this parking lot?
Yes.
So no off-street parking or on-street parking will be utilized? Okay. Don't have any other questions. The board have any questions?
Can you tell me exactly which building it is? Is it the one with the blue dot on the photo you just gave us? Is that the building that you'll be in?
It's this
Okay,
one.
so,
Does it sit back? Does it?
yeah, because I tried to figure out which building it was and zoom in on
So
the aerial view. I couldn't tell.
it's this
That
one.
would be this.
Okay.
yes.
So if we look at this exhibit,
Oh,
I think this is
It's the last page in their packet, I believe.
A3.
A4,
A-
right?
A3, I think.
okay.
Oh, no, sorry, that is marked as A4. Right. It's, Unit B on that A4 sky view.
So,
Do you know how far you are from any public or charter school?
Actually,
Yes, I think it's,
so I did look this up. There's four, schools in the area. Primos Elementary, which is 0.4 miles away. It's 2,112 feet away. Westbrook Park Elementary is 1.1 mile away. St. Eugene's also 0.4, and then Nicholas School Incorporated, it's 1.3 miles away.
St. Eugene's was how far?
Which school?
St. Eugene's.
St. Eugene's is 0.4 miles. That's, same as Primos Elementary, 2,112 feet away.
Other smoke shops or tobacco stores?
Excuse me. So there aren't any other smoke shops within, I'd say within a mile. The closest thing to this location is a gas station, which is about 0.2 miles away. But they wouldn't qualify as a smoke shop.
Are you talking about the Liberty gas station on the corner of, you don't think that qualifies as a smoke shop?
No, so they would have to have at least 15% or more. Their inventory has to have 50% or more tobacco-related products in order to be qualified as a.
But they do sell it.
But they do sell. They sell e-cigarettes and
Products too?
do they have even?
Would you be selling e-products? Let's put
Oh.
that.
e-products?
Cigarettes?
Yeah,
Yes.
you would be.
You said Liberty was how far from your location?
It's about, so I tried to map it. It's between 0.1 and 0.2. I couldn't get the exact feet in distance. I kept getting, if you put walk-in distance on Google Maps, I kept getting 0.01, and then depending which street you cross, you get 0.02.
Sorry, 0.1 or 0.01?
Oh, I'm sorry, 0.01, 0.02.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for.
Closest shop that I really see is the Pearson Cigar and Coffee Cigar Shop. That is over That's like 1,073 over way. That's right on Providence Road. That's the closest one that I'm aware of.
By the CVS, the one by the.
Yep.
The Liberty is not, the use, that approved use is not a smoke shop use.
Liberty, we consider that a convenience store.
Josh, I'm curious about Alton Vapes and Smoke Shop. Is Liberty still Liberty? It didn't change hands recently?
What is Alden Vapes and Smoke Shop?
That's what comes up on Google.
At that location.
At that exact location. So I'm wondering, are we?
Well, that's not this applicant's problem if it's not a legally established use.
Well, yeah, I'm just asking if like it's still Liberty, right? That's all.
What's that?
I'm just asking that it's still Liberty, like the convenience store. That's all I'm asking.
I'm saying I don't know if it matters.
This is in Alden Borough too?
That did, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that did pop up in some of the searches. Actually, in one of the searches I did, so I just kind of looked into it. I do have pictures of that I can share with the board. I try to take 2 views of it. I don't see anything really bad.
That's fine. Thank you.
This is kind of like a black.
But how close is it
Thank you.
to your clients? Your client to that?
To this, that's the one that's .01 to .02.
Miles.
It's like,
So less than 1,000 feet.
it's between,
About 300, 400.
actually, no, that is my mistake. It's .10 to .2.
Okay.
Yes, yes, I'm sorry. Because when I calculated it, I did get 1,000, 100, and then one time I got like 1,860 something. This is the Liberty. I guess we can mark this as
A6, and when were these photographs taken?
Uh,
These are Google images?
yes, these are Google images. I have the copyright. I think it's on the other one.
Okay.
No, it's not on here.
Do you know when Google captured these images?
Do not. I thought I had it on one of them.
Would it surprise you if Google says that Street View in that area was taken a year ago?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
What's the square footage of your unit?
It's 1,430.
Okay. There are, you may have specified to this earlier, but, is this, or is the applicant getting designated parking spots for this unit? Are you getting designated parking spots for your unit, like that's
No.
reserved for you?
No.
What was the number, the size of the unit?
1,430.
1,430, so divide by 200. So yeah, you would need 8 spaces.
I think I counted about 50.
Do you have a measurement for the rest of the parking spots and those?
I have a measurement for the other units. Yes. So if we look at A4, actually, I have a measurement just for the other 3.
I don't have a packet. Yeah, the square footage and then how many, here, hey, hold, get me his.
Looks like you have unit B, C, and A, and then
This one I
Coco's doesn't have.
Doesn't have
it. On the exhibit that you provided.
square footage.
Because we could do, if I get one of those, I could do a calculation real quick and see if there is enough. Do you know the amount of parking spaces that are on the site? Is Unit A not a, we also don't have the uses on here, but Unit A is a laundromat, correct?
Yes.
Unit C is what?
It's empty. It's right.
So assumably retail?
Well, he actually rented it as
I
well.
rented it as storage.
Okay. And then Coco's is restaurant, dine and takeout. So let's,
Do you know the square footage of the Coco's Pizza? That one didn't, that was the one, I didn't see that have a number on that one.
we said 8.
And you are not a hookah bar, correct?
No.
No smoking whatsoever on the premises.
Yeah, so I counted about 40 spaces now.
Okay. Just trying to find the, so right now it's leased to you as storage, Unit C.
You, as part of your application, you're not seeking like you're not seeking like a variance from parking or anything like that, right? This is just.
This is just part of the special exception
Okay, yeah, I just
requirements to
wanted
make
to-
sure he's meeting it.
Just wanted to confirm.
I'm gonna do 6 for that. I'm just gonna do that as convenience. Unit C, which would mean 6 spots for that. Unit A is gonna be laundry, so that's 250 again, so 1290. Yeah,
Just general retail?
yeah, that's a set. It's gonna be
Okay.
250. 1290 divided by another 250. That's another 6 spaces, and we have an idea what Coco's Pizza is. All right, let me do a little Google Earth imagery.
Josh, while you're doing that, I have a quick question. For the testimony that you provided in your application, this is just a clarification for health and safety and compliance and for your age restrictions. You did put that tobacco and smoking products will only be sold to individuals over the age of 21. I just wanted to make you aware, if you haven't been already, that individuals under 21 of age are prohibited from being present in the smoke shop, period. Like, they can't even come into the store if they're 18.
All right.
So I just wanted to clarify that because
They can't,
that wasn't,
they can't work or
nope.
employees or anything like that.
All right, so would 4,000 square feet sound about correct for Coco's? How many spots you say you had?
It's about, I would say, a minimum of 40.
A minimum
Yeah,
40?
yeah.
All
There's
right,
like
I mean, so
5 in the front that are.
we've got 20 required spaces for Coco's. We've got 8 required spaces for the shop. We've got 6 general retail spaces required for Unit C, and we've got another 6 for the laundromat. So that's 40.
And Josh, in the center of that L shape, looks like there's cars parked there, and it looks like there's probably lines designated parking. So are they privy to that? Is customers privy to all the parking in that center? Oh, okay.
As far as the site meeting the requirements for parking, it looks like it works.
Site does.
And if it doesn't, someone will have to come back. Whether it's whoever fills Unit C or. Taking the time to make sure you're got everything. You know. Do you have any other witnesses?
No.
Is there any public comment? Okay. Exec stuff or?
I make a motion to approve the application.
Second that? All in favor?
Aye.
Is that a yes? Or a nay?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Application's approved, you get a notice in 45 days. Good luck.
Thank you. Awesome. Have a good
Anybody want to add some applications on the end or stay a little longer, have some more fun?
Next one.
10:38.
Okay,
Who's going to make that a motion?
let's make it a motion to